on our final map, though.
Nope. He is not going to be able to do that same build on this map. No goal base here. But he does get to come out again with all of that momentum from winning that game in that fourth game. But he's going to be going up against this titan of Rain. Such a strong, solid, safe Protoss.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this during the break. Rain, I feel like if he plays a bit safe here, I think he can definitely take this one down for MarineKing.
Yeah, he's a very safe player in general. His late game is his strength. It's a clash of two completely opposite styles. The constant defender versus the constant attacker. Rain's Psy Storms are superb. MarineKing's Marine splits are excellent. So what happens when these two styles clash, they collide. We're going to find out right now. It's our ace match between Prime and SKT. Only one of these two teams will advance, of course, ahead of the other. Let's find out who it's going to be.
LTA는 SK텔레콤.
Up here in the top left, in the purple, he's back again. Terran player, MarineKing.
The King of Marines faces a dangerous opponent to the bottom right in orange. It's Rain for SKT. Only time will tell what builds we're going to see. MarineKing really popularized that 2 medevac Marine pressure with +1 in Wings of Liberty. Just, attacking with a few, units at the front. Is he just going to... Okay, no, his timing was, actually just perfect. Making normal depot, completely, absolutely normal. I'm just panicking a lot. My adrenaline level is really high right now.
After we saw that last game, there's no reason to be ashamed.
I mean,
he's making that depot.
He's really good at pressure. That's what his strength was and always has been and still is. Unfortunately, though, in this matchup, it's a lot more difficult to make builds like that work because the Mothership Core gives you such a defender's advantage, and you also, you have their boosting ability on the medevacs, but it's just difficult to make that sort of attack work and trade well against the Protoss who's being very greedy, as most Protoss players play right now, because they know they can get away with it.
Yeah, definitely. So far, Rain just adding that gateway and going for the scout here. He knows he needs to find out exactly what MarineKing is doing. MarineKing has shown time and again that he will do very aggressive builds and will not be scared to do them. So Rain sending out that probe for some information.
Yeah, going to pop over there and scout. And with the Reaper expand here, MarineKing is going to be very safe against any openings. He's also going to be able to identify what he's up against. Probe comes in. May even tase the SCV. Then tase him. Oh, no, maybe. SCV pokes him.
SCV wins that fight.
Oh, can he lock him in? Indeed he can. So that probe is not going anywhere.
Yeah, Rain seeing the gas, just trying to pull back and try to escape, but MarineKing there with his SCV to make that. And eventually this probe is going to be taken down by that Reaper, but he steals some minerals first before he dies. Those minerals will never be used.
No.
By anyone.
By anyone.
They disappear.
Thing is, he's going to delay the Reaper with this slightly, which is important, and also he knows that even if he did escape, the Reaper would probably hunt him down and kill him on his way back anyways, so I guess he's not too sad about losing this probe. He got the information that he wanted. That's the most important part.
Yeah, he knows exactly what's going on in the base of MarineKing, so he feels safe enough to throw down that Nexus after the gateway expands.
Yeah, adds a second gate, a second gas. As he does this, so he's only mining off of one, gets a slightly faster Nexus as a result. MarineKing makes his CC on the high ground, something we haven't seen from him all too often in the past. He usually plays a little bit greedier with his expands. And that Reaper wants to come in here and identify the 3 pylons. He's going to see 1, 2.
There's 1, there's 2.
And he's going to go check the bottom left of the base because he wants to see 3. And he actually, did he see that? I don't think so. I think he barely did not see that.
Well,
he's sticking around, so I'm pretty sure he actually is a bit curious about what's happening here.
Yeah, he may not have all the information he wants. Back here at the base of MarineKing is adding 2 additional barracks, so some more pressure out of him.
And robotics goes down. Rain playing pretty safe so far. Could be aggressive with this robotics as well. With the timing of this, it's very quick. Could be for fast immortals. We'll have to wait and see what he's got planned here. MarineKing's going to have a lot of units out on the map very soon with the additional barracks that you mentioned. And he's making 3 Marines at a time. You're going to see him pressure pretty soon. And with this type of pressure, you can oftentimes identify what your opponent's going into. You know, if you attack him and you see an immortal, and the immortal's like desperately trying to figure, like, oh, I guess you were trying to go immortals, but I'm attacking you first.
Yeah, it also gets, you know, the pressure on your opponent instead of yourself. Gains you some map control. You know that if your opponent wants to attack you, he has to go all the way across the map. Rain, so far, just trying to chrono boost out that observer. Wants to know exactly what MarineKing is doing. He also adds 2 extra gateways.
Yeah, 3-gate robo, the bread and butter build for so long in this matchup. It's arguably the safest build you could ever do as a Protoss player. So you have detection, you have scouting information with that observer, you have enough gateways to defend pressure.
Gets even a second observer.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew that Rain is safe, and I expected this type of play, and we got it.
Yeah, this is exactly what you expect from Rain. And he's got the Mothership core out there as well, which will easily be able to throw down that overcharge and shut this down hard. He even has units on the high ground to try to pick away. So he knows there's no way he can commit to going forward into the overcharge. He's going to block him at the ramp, and MarineKing commits there. And this is going to be one of the things that's easier done than said almost, with how easy he shuts this down.
A nice couple of force fields there. He's able to pick off the Marauder, but some energy wasted off of those sentries, as well as that Mothership core.
But, you know, he knows MarineKing has committed a lot to this. Now he can identify even, wow, your factory's very late, your medevacs are very late. Which means I can commit more to upgrades. He's going to get his Colossus tech out before he takes a third, because he knows that if he tries to do otherwise, the MarineKing still has a lot of production off of those barracks and could try to force a cancel on that. And he's still out there, you know, with those units. They're still a relatively strong army. So, we'll see. Twilight Council going up here as well, and Rain basically has all the pieces of the puzzle to expand outwards, right? He's got full saturation with 16 probes at his base, plus the gases. He has all 4 gases. He has all the tech routes unlocked with Twilight Council, the Bay. The forges are up. He's getting a 3rd observer right now. I mean, you cannot play safer than this, actually.
It's almost literally impossible, unless you just, like, don't expand.
Yeah.
But even that would just
That's
actually be not
That's,
safe.
yeah.
Like, there are, like, a ton of Marines here, and they're close to +1. They do have stim as well. They do stim right now.
And there's not a whole lot of answers for this. The Mothership core does drop that overcharge. He's got a ton of DPS here, though, Brendan. And if he kills those sentries, he can go into the main base. He gets in. There's no force fields. And how much damage can he get done? That's the question here. A few Stalkers being warped in, but damage is being done to the probes immediately.
Yeah, he runs right into the probe line. He wants to do as much damage as possible. Takes out a bunch of these Stalkers as well. Already 10 probes going down. And this little poke at a MarineKing just continues to do damage.
Yeah, now it's 44 Harvesters to 39. MarineKing massively ahead in that sense, plus the mules he has to drop. He lost a lot of army, though, which means that Rain's army is pretty solid right now. You know, we kept, I think, one of the sentries alive. I don't think anything weird had just happened there, if I'm not mistaken. Like, Korean Commodores went crazy. I was trying to find out what happened. But, so, Colossus is out now. And Rain actually is adding a bunch of gates here. Could just be for defense of the 3rd base, as you'd expect for Rain. But he might be thinking to himself, I've lost a lot here. Maybe want to consider going to the 2 Colossus push. Maybe he'll have 1-1 when he hits with that with range.
He's also got Blink on the way. Could see some kind of strong push coming out of here. Knowing Rain, I'm not sure exactly if it's going to come out. But the first thing he has to worry about here is another push out of MarineKing. He's going to have 2 Colossi when this hits.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to push. He just wants to be defensive here. And he's cut probes not because he wants to attack, but because he needs the defense up, like, right now. And he doesn't have a lot of energy on his Mothership core. It just recently remade. And that's so much DPS here for MarineKing, but the force fields are beautiful. He keeps the Colossus alive. Another trap there on that Marine, and the Marauders can't really participate in this fight. Blink wasn't done, so he couldn't chase those. But MarineKing trying to trade a little bit here. Does definitely get the worst end of it, though, on that engagement.
Yeah, definitely does. Isn't able to take out any Colossi. He was trying to focus down that 1 Colossus when he first came in, but really impeccable force fields, as you mentioned, out of Rain. Rain, just a guy, he will get that army and use his micro units to the best of their ability. His micro is just impeccable. You were talking about his storms before. His sentries are also really, really awesome.
Yeah. You know, 2 additional probes being made now. He's restarted probe production. He wants to take a third base, but he's very wary of these attacks that are coming out. He starts range now. It's very late, but the reason why he didn't start it before is because he knew he needed those expensive gas units, the sentries, and the stalkers to defend. I think he's seen this. He's going to wait and then blink under it to trap it. Here we go. There they go. They're coming in. They blink under, and he gets it. Marine here does not get anything done, so that's a very nice catch by Rain. He also sees the third base timing, as you guys can see right now, the observer flying over.
Yep, this is something you gain by having so many observers on the map. He had one over here towards the north end of that map, that pathway, I should say, and another one that was able to spot that medevac, and another one at the base of his opponent, so he has all the information he needs right now.
Yeah, and that one that's right up to the north of his army right now just lets him know if there's a ground army approaching, and if there's not, he feels very comfortable. MarineKing in a pretty decent spot upgrade-wise against a Protoss. It's not every day you see somebody actually able to get 2-2 started before. You know, there's not even a second forge as far as I can tell for Rain here. And this attack, can he force the Nexus down? I think he might. He's got a lot of Vikings here too. I mean, 4 with this many Marauders?
Yeah, and he's got the Widowmine's Burrow ready for some defense if he goes in. A nice blink on the Stalker's able to take down a bunch of these Vikings as well as decent force fields, but 2 Colossi immediately go down, and a lot of units here for MarineKing.
He's trying to force his way through. He's just got mostly Marauders here, which is helping him out quite a bit. But I think Rain is going to push this back. The Blink Stalkers actually might chase the medevacs. He does actually catch 2 of those. Bit of a micro mistake there by MarineKing. I think he could have saved some of those. Meanwhile, it looks like we have a Zealot run by over here. Doesn't get a lot of kills, but you could argue it does a bit of AoE damage to those units because they had the stim to chase.
Yeah. What you were saying before this game started was spot on. The constant attacker against the constant defender. I think that's 4 attacks now. Finally, that's the second forge.
Finally the forge down. I mean, MarineKing is going to be at 2-2 versus 0-2, you know, in just a little bit.
I think Rain actually got the +1 to attack.
Oh, did he also get that? I would hope so.
It was on the person tab at 1 point.
So, my mistake. He's still going to be ahead regardless.
Yep.
And, you know, not as ahead as I was leading you all to believe, but anyway, as it is, MarineKing is still, I mean, if you're staying even with Protoss player and upgrades, that's huge because of the Chrono Boost and, you know, how cheap Protoss upgrades are. It's pretty tough to do that. It's very rare that you actually see somebody do that. He's also been able to, with his good economy, keep a mostly Marauder army. Keeping the Marauder count this high means dealing with Colossus tech is very easy. And also later on, when Storms come out, he just has more hit points in his army to tank these types of attacks.
Yeah, and that's someone, you know, he's called the MarineKing, but he's known for that because of his really aggressive plays with the Marines. But if he gets these really high HP units and he attacks with a bunch of SCVs.
With 2-2 and a 40 army supply lead when there's no Storm, force fields here are everything. And MarineKing splitting is going to be important as well. 1 force field goes down. He's already trying to buy time. He needs a lot of it, though.
He has an observer over the army. He knows exactly where it is at the time, but MarineKing could just sit here and wait for the force field energy to go down and possibly go in for an attack.
There we go. He decides not to commit here. More force field energy being used. I worry for MarineKing here, though, because there's so much force energy left still, and more warpens coming in here for Rain. He's closing the gap in army supply. 2 SCVs go through. Great time warps on both sides here. MarineKing is trying to force his way through, but it doesn't look like it's going to work. He's taking way too much damage.
The time warp's just too good, hitting the entire army here. He is going to get a nice concave here. Rain has to be careful. No Zealots in this army and so many Marauders.
Yeah, so many Marauders here. And, you know, I feel like maybe now is the time to go in for an attack while there's no Zealots. The Colossi are a bit exposed, but there's still so much AoE damage there. MarineKing is reconsidering. He's down significantly in Harvesters now. And, you know, that +2 armor has finished. He could start 2-3 at any moment. You know, he has a lot of gas banked up. Looks like he's waiting to decide what he wants to do. 4 sentries. That's very expensive in gas, but it's going to, again, be what he needs to buy time to stop MarineKing from coming in here. I think MarineKing's just going to pull the rest of his SCVs. And in fact, I think he may already be doing that. Yep, there they are, coming down. Oh, this is all your eggs in one basket in a nutshell here. He's basically just saying, I will kill you now or this game is over. He's put his entire fate of his team and this last ace match on the line, pulling every single SCV, all the money he has. Storm has started. Here we go! Force field's a bit late, and here come those Marauders on the right side. Widowmine's burrowing as well. They do extra damage to shields. The Vikings getting some hits on here. The force fields are decent. Can MarineKing break through? He's trying to right now.
That's the question. The pros fighting as well, and it looks like there's just so much here for MarineKing. The Stalker's trying to blink and do decently, but it just looks like there's just too many army units, but it's so close here. The Colossus, though, all alone.
The Colossi all alone here. He's dodging those Zealots, but it looks like Rain just has too much. A few more Marauders on the ground coming in, though, fighting those Stalkers. MarineKing has pushed back, but he's got a few more reinforcements. I think Rain has held it, though. MarineKing has no more reinforcing power. He loses the medevac full of units, and that's it. MarineKing will fall here. The Stalkers will blink for the chase, and that is going to be game, ladies and gentlemen. A great attempt here by MarineKing to take on this Titan, this super strong Protoss player. Many would argue the best Protoss player in the world right now. He's lost, though. Storm is done. If you continue double upgrades, the economy is 3 base with 45 probes against 3 base with 25. Doesn't matter about how many mules he has. At this point, Rain just has too strong of an army. Widow Mines here on the main base look like they tried to do a little bit of harassment, but to no avail.
You know, Rain a little bit late on those force fields, but in the end, it just didn't really matter. He was constantly getting out those Colossi, and I think when that attack, he had at least 6 or 7, and even though, you know, there were so many SCVs, there was just so much on the ground for MarineKing. In the end, you know, there just wasn't a lot of Vikings as well, and they got picked off by those Blink Stalkers, and from there, the Colossi lasted a really long time, and with the extra gateway reinforcements, he was able to clean it up eventually.
If you look at the mini-map, begs the question, would it have been better for MarineKing to attack from the west rather than attacking from the north, where there's exactly what our observer is showing us right now, the exact same thing the Korean commentator is talking about right now. This location is much easier to force field and defend, but to the south, you know, down there where if he attacked from the west side of the map, I think there was too much surface area. Maybe he could have split his units a little bit as well and attack from both sides. But attacking from this location, I feel it just shows a little bit of, you know, just he's not really thinking about the map as closely as he could have, because also that location is the much faster location for reinforcements. They're going to be able to get down there much faster, as we saw. I mean, that's where his reinforcements came from.
It only makes sense. Like, that's actually the better place to attack from. It was actually a mistake of the MarineKing. Everybody here was talking about it, and, you know, maybe next time he goes for that edge, and maybe that brings it to him. But if you look at Rain's army right now, he's got so many Storms. He has even a lot of Colossi in the mix as well. MarineKing trying to take a 4th here. It doesn't look like he wants to go too aggressive just for now.
Yeah, I mean, he's lifted his main base out of there and is just going to float over here. Something the observer finds right now. And he's not dead, okay? He's got a few ghosts in his army, but Rain has still got 5 Colossi. Yeah, he switched into Storm Tech, but he has both. And MarineKing only has ghosts. He doesn't have Vikings. So if he deals with the High Templar, that's great, but he still doesn't have an answer for the Colossi. And now he's more Marine heavy than he is Marauder.
Yeah, and MarineKing keeps scanning a lot of these observers, and, you know, he would have loved to have those mules when he was so far behind. And now Rain, he's feeling really confident. He has the observer over to the left. He knows the whole army of MarineKing is over here at the 3rd base. Looks like he's going to come in.
Snipes on those Templar are pretty nice. Gets one. The second one is a bit timid here. He's got a good angle against these Zealots. One Storm goes down, misses everything here. Gets another snipe off there on those Templar. This Storm is pretty decent, though.
Yeah, nice feedbacks on all of those ghosts as well. I'm not sure if there's any more EMPs here. Decent
MarineKing
Storm
is
there.
like hanging on by a thread, but he is hanging on. He's forced off of this base. This base is now being assaulted as well, so he's basically down to 1 mining base right now, and that's his natural. Looks like he may even lose this command center. Is he just going to try to outmaneuver his opponent? Looks like it. He's going to try to run around the base and try to eliminate the 3rd base of Rain. He's going to play a little bit of tag with him here. Trading against these Zealots, really nice concave here. He's got to dodge those Storms, and he's underneath the Time Warp.
He's underneath the Time Warp, and so many Storms here. The whole army of MarineKing goes down, and there's still this huge Protoss ball here. MarineKing looks crushed.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to recover now. Maybe trying to circumvent the army entirely would have been a better choice, but that's it. GG. Rain takes the win, and SK Telecom T1 will not fall in their 2nd ace match. Gives a nod to the camera.
Oh,
very
man,
well
that was
played.
awesome.
And he's running out to greet his teammates, who are, I'm sure, very happy with his performance. That was a rough game for him. That was tough. But a solid defense. MarineKing attacking the location that was more easily defended by force fields.
That was a hard game to win. You said it. That was a tough game. Rain was dealing with so many different attacks that just seemed like they could have killed him at any moment, and he just dealt with it all. He constantly defended. Classic Rain here. just so solid as a Protoss. That final attack, the final big one out of MarineKing was so close, but in the end, he was able to clean it up and take the victory.
This is, though, in my mind, I'm very happy for SK Telecom here, but this is in my mind, the answer is that MarineKing is back to business. MarineKing is back to getting close to his top shape. He's no longer rusty. He's shaken off the rust. He played 2 really solid games. The first game was a bit, weird that he played today. It's hard to actually judge that one, but the second one was very solid, aggressive play on a map that he's not very familiar with because he didn't play